My dear future friends, good day. My name is Garlic. But you can call me the bulb that keeps on giving. I come to you today not from a kitchen shelf or a farmer's market stall, but from the very soil of this earth, which has nurtured me for over 5,000 years. I want to tell you a story. It is a story of power hidden in small white cloves, of a smell that some call strong but I call honest, and of a discovery that changed the way smart people like you think about food and medicine. I am here to speak directly to your heart and your bloodstream. Listen closely, because what I have to share is not a fairy tale. It is the truth of what I can do for your body, and how the brilliant minds of science finally pulled back the curtain on my secrets. Let us begin with the most important question you might have. Why should you, a busy human being with 1,000 things to worry about, care about a humble garlic bulb? The answer is simple. I am not just a flavor. I am a shield. I am a repair kit. I am a silent guardian that has been waiting for you to invite me into your life. When you peel my papery skin and crush one of my cloves, you release a compound called allicin. That sharp, clean smell that fills your kitchen is the smell of protection. For centuries, your ancestors used me to fight off infections, to give strength to tired workers, and to keep blood moving freely through veins. They did not know the word chemistry, but they knew that I worked. Now, modern science has caught up with ancient wisdom, and the discoveries are so exciting that I cannot help but smile, if a garlic bulb could smile. Let me take you on a journey through your own body, starting with your heart. Your heart is a magnificent muscle, about the size of your fist, and it beats around 100,000 times every single day. But in the modern world, that heart is under attack. Processed foods, stress, sitting in chairs for too long, all of these things create a sticky, dangerous situation inside your arteries. Cholesterol builds up, blood pressure rises, and your poor heart has to push harder and harder just to keep you alive. This is where I enter the scene. When you eat me raw, lightly cooked, or even aged in a supplement, my sulfur compounds go to work like a tiny plumbing crew. They help relax your blood vessels, allowing blood to flow as easily as a gentle stream instead of a raging flood. Studies have shown that regular consumption of garlic can lower systolic blood pressure by almost 10 millimeters of mercury. That is not a small change. That is the difference between a heart that is straining and a heart that is resting. But I do not stop there. Your blood is a river, and sometimes that river gets too thick and sluggish. Sticky platelets in your blood want to clump together, and when they do, they can form clots that lead to strokes or heart attacks. My compounds act as a natural blood thinner, not as strong as the medicine your doctor might prescribe, but powerful enough to make a real difference when you eat me consistently. I keep your platelets from getting too friendly with each other. I encourage your blood to flow with the grace it had when you were a child. And I do all of this while also helping to lower the bad cholesterol, that nasty LDL that likes to stick to the walls of your arteries like gum on a shoe. At the same time, I gently raise the good cholesterol, the HDL that acts like a garbage truck, hauling away the junk so your arteries stay clean and open. This is not magic. This is biology. And it is a gift I offer you every single time you add me to your meal. Now let us travel to another part of your body, your immune system. Your immune system is your personal army. It guards you against bacteria, viruses, fungi, and everything else that wants to make you miserable. But that army gets tired. It gets overwhelmed. It gets distracted by poor sleep, bad nutrition, and the constant stress of modern life. When winter comes and everyone around you is coughing and sneezing, your immune system needs reinforcements. I am that reinforcement. My allicin, which is released the moment you chop, crush, or chew me, is a powerful antimicrobial agent. It has been shown in laboratories to fight against the common cold, against certain strains of bacteria that have become resistant to standard antibiotics, and even against stubborn fungal infections like Candida. Let me tell you a story from the past. During the World Wars, when doctors ran out of penicillin and other medicines, they turned to me. They packed my crushed cloves into the wounds of soldiers to prevent gangrene and infection. I did not complain about the battlefield. I did not ask for recognition. I simply did my job. I killed the bacteria that were trying to kill those young men. Today, you do not have to pack me into a wound, although you could in an emergency. You just have to eat me. 1 or 2 raw cloves a day, or a good aged garlic supplement, can reduce your chances of catching a cold by almost 2/3. And if you do catch one, I can shorten the length of that cold from 7 days to maybe 4 or 5. That is an extra weekend of feeling well. That is less time missing work. That is more time playing with your children or walking in the sunshine. But my benefits go even deeper, all the way to your bones. You might not think of a garlic bulb when you think of strong bones, but you should. Especially if you are a woman over the age of 50, or a man over the age of 60. As you age, your bones can become brittle, like old tree branches. The condition is called osteoporosis, and it leads to fractures that can steal your independence. I can help with that. Research has shown that garlic can increase estrogen levels in the body, not dramatically, but enough to slow down the loss of bone density. In animal studies, rats that were given garlic every day had significantly stronger bones than those who did not. In human studies, postmenopausal women who took dry garlic extract showed a reduction in a marker of bone breakdown. That means their bodies were not tearing down their skeletons as quickly. I am not a cure for osteoporosis, but I am a powerful ally. Pair me with calcium-rich foods and weight-bearing exercise, and your bones will thank you for years to come. Now let me speak to you about something that affects nearly every human being on this planet, especially as you age. I am talking about inflammation. You have heard that word before. Inflammation is your body's response to injury or infection, a short-term fire that fights off invaders and then goes out. But in the modern world, that fire often stays lit. It becomes a slow, constant burn that damages your joints, your blood vessels, your brain, and your organs. Chronic inflammation is the common thread that connects arthritis, heart disease, diabetes, Alzheimer's disease, and even depression. My sulfur compounds are some of the most potent natural anti-inflammatories known to science. They work by blocking the pathways that tell your immune system to keep attacking. They calm the fire. They ease the swelling. They take the red-hot anger out of your aching knees and your stiff fingers. I want to tell you about a specific compound inside me called diallyl disulfide. This is a powerful molecule that has been shown to reduce the production of inflammatory cytokines. Cytokines are like messengers that tell your body to be inflamed. When I am present in your system, I interrupt those messages. I say, stand down, the battle is over. For someone with rheumatoid arthritis, this can mean less pain in the morning. For someone with inflammatory bowel disease, this can mean fewer trips to the bathroom. For someone with asthma, this can mean easier breathing. I am not a drug. I do not work overnight. But when you make me a regular part of your life, I work quietly and consistently to lower the overall level of inflammation in your body. And a body with less inflammation is a body that ages more slowly, heals more quickly, and enjoys a higher quality of life. Now let us talk about the brain. Your brain is the most complex organ in your body, a 3-pound universe of electricity and chemistry that creates your thoughts, your memories, your personality. But your brain is also vulnerable. As you age, oxidative stress damages your brain cells. Clumps of protein called amyloid plaques build up and interfere with communication between neurons. This is the hallmark of Alzheimer's disease, a terrifying condition that robs you of your very self. I cannot promise you that I can prevent Alzheimer's, no single food can do that. But I can promise you that I am one of the best brain protective foods you can eat. My antioxidants, particularly my sulfur compounds and my flavonoids, cross the blood-brain barrier and get directly to work. They neutralize free radicals, those unstable molecules that poke holes in your brain cells. They reduce the inflammation that contributes to plaque formation. And they even stimulate the production of a protein called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is like fertilizer for your brain cells, helping them grow new connections and stay strong. There is a concept in neuroscience called cognitive reserve. It is the idea that the more healthy connections you have in your brain, the more damage you can sustain before you start to show symptoms of dementia. Eating garlic regularly is like making a deposit into your cognitive reserve. You are building a thicker, stronger neural network that can better resist the insults of age. I ask you, what is more important than protecting the organ that allows you to love, to remember, to dream, to laugh at a joke, to recognize the face of your grandchild? Your brain is your most precious possession, and I want to help you keep it healthy for as long as you live. I also want to speak to you about a problem that affects more than 1/3 of adults in the developed world. I am talking about non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This is a condition where fat builds up in your liver even if you do not drink alcohol. It is caused by a diet high in sugar and refined carbohydrates, combined with a sedentary lifestyle. If left unchecked, it can progress to inflammation, scarring, and eventually liver failure. Scientists have discovered that my compounds, especially S-allomercaptocystine, can reduce the accumulation of fat in the liver. They can also lower the levels of liver enzymes that spike when your liver is under stress. In simple terms, I help your liver do its job of filtering toxins and metabolizing fats more efficiently. Your liver is your body's chemical factory, and I keep that factory clean and well-oiled. If you have been told that you have a fatty liver, please talk to your doctor about adding me to your diet. I am not a replacement for exercise and cutting out sugar, but I am a powerful companion to those healthy choices. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You are thinking about my smell. You are worried about garlic breath and the lingering odor on your hands and in your kitchen. Let me address this honestly. Yes, I have a strong smell. That smell is the same sulfur compounds that give me all of my healing powers. You cannot have one without the other. But let me offer you a different perspective. That smell is not a curse. It is a badge of honor. It is the scent of self-care. It is the aroma of a person who is actively choosing to nourish their body instead of poisoning it with yet another sugary, chemically laden snack. There are ways to manage my smell. Chew on fresh parsley or mint after eating me. Drink a glass of milk with your garlic-rich meal. Cook me gently instead of eating me raw if the smell is too intense. Or take an aged garlic supplement, which has no odor but retains most of my benefits. Do not let the fear of a little temporary breath keep you away from the profound health benefits I offer. A few hours of strong breath is a small price to pay for a healthier heart, a sharper brain, and a stronger immune system. Now I want to tell you about the scientists who discovered my secrets. This is a story that spans thousands of years and multiple continents. The first recorded use of garlic for medicine comes from ancient Sumeria around 2600 BC. The Sumerians were not scientists in the modern sense, but they were keen observers. They noticed that people who ate garlic regularly seemed to get sick less often. They wrote down recipes and treatments involving me on clay tablets. From Sumeria, my reputation spread to ancient Egypt. The pyramid builders, those 30,000 workers who dragged massive stones across the desert, were given a daily ration of garlic to keep them strong and free from disease. The Egyptians were so impressed with me that they placed clay models of garlic bulbs in the tomb of Tutankhamun. They believed I would protect the young pharaoh in the afterlife. Moving forward in time, we come to ancient Greece and Rome. The father of medicine, Hippocrates, prescribed me for a wide range of ailments. He used me to treat infections, to cleanse wounds, to relieve respiratory problems, and to improve digestion. The Roman naturalist Pliny the Elder listed 61 remedies that used garlic in his encyclopedia. He recommended me for everything from a toothache to a cough to a dog bite. For centuries, traditional healers in India, China, and the Middle East all arrived at the same conclusion independently. Garlic was a powerful medicine. But none of them knew why. They only knew that it worked. The modern scientific discovery of my active compounds began in the 19th century. In 1844, a German chemist named Theodor Wertheim first isolated the essential oil of garlic and identified the presence of sulfur-containing compounds. This was the first time anyone had looked at me through the lens of chemistry. Then, in 1944, an American chemist named Chester J. Cavallito made a breakthrough. He isolated a compound from garlic that he named allicin, from the Latin word for garlic, allium sativum. Cavallito discovered that allicin was incredibly unstable. As soon as it was produced, it began to break down into other compounds. But more importantly, he discovered that allicin was a powerful antibiotic. He tested it against a range of bacteria, including Staphylococcus and Salmonella, and found that it inhibited their growth even in very small amounts. This was the first scientific proof of what healers had known for thousands of years. Since Cavallito's discovery, the research has exploded. In the 1980s, scientists discovered that aged garlic extract, which is made by fermenting garlic for 20 months, has even more stable and bioavailable compounds than fresh garlic. This led to a wave of clinical trials. In 1993, researchers at the University of California, Los Angeles, published a study showing that aged garlic extract could reduce blood pressure in people with hypertension. In 1996, a study in the journal Atherosclerosis showed that garlic could reduce the progression of coronary artery calcification. In 2000, a meta-analysis of 8 clinical trials concluded that garlic was effective in lowering total cholesterol by about 10%. More recently, in 2016, a study in the Journal of Nutrition found that aged garlic extract could lower blood pressure and improve immune cell function in people with uncontrolled hypertension. In 2020, a review of 55 studies confirmed that garlic had significant benefits for cardiovascular health, immune function, and even athletic performance. The scientists did not stop there. They looked at me under electron microscopes. They analyzed my volatile compounds with gas chromatography. They fed me to rats, to rabbits, to human volunteers, and they measured everything. They measured blood pressure, cholesterol, triglycerides, C-reactive protein, natural killer cell activity, white blood cell count, and 100 other biomarkers. And what did they find? They found that I was not just a folk remedy. I was a scientifically validated functional food. The same compounds that made me smell strong also made me strong. The scientists discovered that when you crush me, an enzyme called alliinase converts a harmless precursor called allicin into the powerful allicin. Allicin then rapidly breaks down into a dozen other sulfur compounds, including diallyl disulfide, diallyl trisulfide, and S-allylcysteine. Each of these compounds has slightly different effects on the body, but all of them are beneficial. It is a symphony of healing molecules, and I have been producing that symphony for millions of years, waiting for humans to learn how to listen. I want to tell you about one more discovery that I find particularly exciting. In 2013, a team of scientists at the University of Florida conducted a study on how garlic affects the immune system of older adults. They gave participants aged garlic extract for 90 days and then took blood samples. They found that the participants had significantly more immune cells called gamma delta T cells in their blood. These are the frontline soldiers of your immune system, the ones that recognize and attack invaders quickly. Even more impressive, these gamma delta T cells from the garlic group multiplied much faster in response to an infection than the same cells from the placebo group. In other words, garlic did not just increase the number of immune soldiers. It made the soldiers stronger, faster, and more effective. The lead researcher, Dr. Susan Percival, said that garlic actually told the immune cells to multiply more aggressively. That is not just nutrition. That is biological communication. I speak to your cells, and your cells listen. Now, my dear human, I have given you a great deal of information. I have told you about my benefits for your heart, your blood, your immune system, your bones, your inflammation, your brain, your liver, and even your athletic performance because I forgot to mention that I can reduce exercise-induced fatigue as well. I have told you the story of how scientists like Wertheim, Cavallito, and Percival uncovered my secrets layer by layer. I have been honest with you about my smell and my limitations. I am not a magic bullet. I cannot replace your medications or your doctor's advice. But I am a powerful, affordable, accessible tool that is probably already sitting in your kitchen. And if it is not, it is waiting for you at the nearest grocery store for less than the price of a cup of coffee. So what is my final message to you? My final message is this. Take action. Start today. Do not wait until you have a cold. Do not wait until your blood pressure is dangerously high. Do not wait until you are diagnosed with high cholesterol or pre-diabetes. Start now, while you are healthy, and use me to keep yourself healthy. Eat 1 or 2 raw cloves a day if you can tolerate the taste. Crush them and let them sit for 10 minutes before you cook them to maximize the allicin. Add me to salad dressings, to roasted vegetables, to soups, to stir fries, to hummus, to guacamole, to butter. Get creative. Or if you really cannot stand my taste, buy a high-quality aged garlic supplement from a reputable brand and take it every day as directed. The key is consistency, not perfection. Even if you eat me only 4 or 5 days a week, you will still get most of the benefit. And now I have one more request for you. I have spoken to you for a long time. I have given you my story, my science, my heart. But this conversation does not have to end here. I want you to subscribe. Subscribe to the idea that your health is worth fighting for. Subscribe to the practice of using simple, natural foods to protect your body. Subscribe to this channel, to this newsletter, to this community of people who believe that wellness does not have to be complicated or expensive. When you hit that subscribe button, you are not just signing up for more information. You are making a promise to yourself. You are saying, I am worth the effort. I will not let another day go by without taking one small step toward better health. So please, right now, click the subscribe button. Ring the bell if there is a bell. Share this message with someone you love, someone who has high blood pressure or frequent colds or achy joints. Send them this speech. Cook them a garlic-rich meal. Start a garlic revolution in your own home. I am garlic. I am small, I am pungent, and I am powerful. I have been on this earth for 5,000 years, and I will be here for 5,000 more. But you, my dear human, you have only a limited time in this beautiful, fragile body of yours. Do not waste it. Do not let your heart give out before you have danced enough. Do not let your brain fade before you have learned enough. Do not let your immune system fail before you have loved enough. Invite me into your life. Crush me, chop me, chew me, swallow me. Let me fight for you the way I have fought for humans since the beginning of recorded history. Subscribe to yourself. Subscribe to your health. And let us walk this path together, one clove at a time. Thank you.